A blessed good evening to one and all once again here by Holy Innocents Church and School, which is situated at Ashford in St. Thomas. And again, this Ashford is spelled Ayshford. And this is the road leading to Harrison's Cave and Welshman Hall Gully. So again, looking up at the Church of Holy Innocents. I will show you guys the school building here, which has a mural graphic on it that was done by Miss June Connell in 2005. Again, these things on this mural, on this building, depict things in St. Thomas. You can see Holy Innocents. Yes, Holy Innocents primary school students down below here with Lester Vaughan, who was the former principal. He was reading to them. Lester Vaughan was the principal here in the 50s and 60s and was also organist of Holy Innocents Church. This is Lester Vaughan here reading the book. You can see the windmill here at Sturgis Plantation. You can see the top band in the village, Carrington's village, St. Thomas. And this is the Harrison's Cave here with the stalagmites and the stalactites, also in St. Thomas. And then the Welshman Hall Gully, also in St. Thomas. And St. Thomas is best referred to as the heart of Barbados. So this is the heart of Barbados. So all the murals here on Holy Innocents School building. So this school was originally a board and shingle school when my first two aunts were going to school until the passage of Hurricane Janet, which struck Barbados and the Caribbean in September 1955 and it damaged building, so they had to rebuild it into a wall structure. But this school was originally a board and shingle school. So Holy Innocents Church is situated at Ashford in St. Thomas. And again, this Ashford is spelled Ayshford. And this Ashford is a long road. It is referred to as Ashford Long Road. So Ashford in St. Thomas is Aysh, not Ash, but Aysh. So Holy Innocents Church dates back to 1838 and consecrated in 1839. So Holy Innocents. Yeah. It's very rare to find this church open now. It's very rare to find Holy Innocents open. Anyhow, I would take a walk through the cemetery. As I said before, and I will say again, I have lots of family laid to rest in this churchyard. As I said before, they do not bury people in this churchyard anymore, except it is a by grave. Because the cemetery in the church is filled, so they have to bury the people on the opposite side. of the road. So up here now we'll lead you back to Richmond Hall, St. Thomas, and back to St. Thomas Post Office. So this is the cemetery now where most of my ancestors are laid to rest. Let's see if we can take a walk in the cemetery. Holy Innocents Church Cemetery. So my second aunt, Glendine Levine, is laid to rest here. And my great-grandmother, Keeling Antoinette Levine, who adopted the name Aunt Key because of her name, Aunt Key, later referred to as Aunt Key, was also laid to rest here. She passed away in 1987. That would be my great-grandmother. From my mother's side, she would be my mother's grandmother. Therefore, she would have been my great-grandmother. Aunt Key. Aunt Key is laid to rest here in Holy Innocents Cemetery. My great-aunt, Olga Knight, Nee Ellis. My great-aunt, that would be my mother's first aunt, which is my grandmother's first sister, laid to rest here. Also, Gorman Levine, who was my great-uncle. He also holds a place in this cemetery. So the Levines from the Vault Road. And also Elvis Levine, who was a second cousin of mine. He is also laid to rest here. So many more, too numerous to mention. All hold a place here in Holy Innocents Churchyard. So this is where they have to bury the people now, since the cemetery in the churchyard is filled. Over here is the back of Bryan's Road, which referred to by many residents as the line. So this cemetery here is quite a recent one. This was an overflow. This is an overflow of the church's cemetery, because the church's cemetery is filled now. So that is why they put the people down in this section of the cemetery. Osmond LaVere Hoyt. So they have lots of ancestors who are laid to rest here. So Holy Innocents is a beautiful country church. I'm in the countryside at the moment, here in the beautiful parish of St. Thomas. Ursula Yearwood. So another family member, well, she's not a direct family, she's a relative of my first cousin. She's a relative of my first cousin, which is my mother's first niece. That would be her grandmother from her father's side, Clemine Mondale Walcott. She was a Boyce first, but then she became a Walcott. And her brother Norman Boyce. So Clemine was a Boyce, then she became a Walcott. She married to a Walcott. Her husband is buried here too, Christopher Whitfield Walcott, who referred to by many as Keith. He is also laid to rest in this cemetery as well. And her husband, Norman Noel Boyce, who many refer to as Pompey, is her brother, and he is laid to rest here. He was one of the first staff in Harrison's Cave. He was the one who helped pave the way for the cave, Harrison's Cave, to make it what it is today. He is buried behind his sister. So I have lots of relatives in here. Unfortunately, Auntie Glendine's grave doesn't have her name on it. I don't even think my great-grandmother Anki. As I said before, my great-grandmother Anki. Also, her name was Keelan Antoinette Levine. He She was buried here. She died in 1987 at the age of 94 years. Golda Dalcina Brown, another relative of mine. She's my second cousin. She's also laid to rest here. That would be my great aunt, Organite, her daughter, Organite aunt, Olga daughter, Golda Dalcina Brown. Golda and Alfred Ellis. Golda married to a Brown. That's how she came by the name Brown. Back at my beloved Holy Innocents Anglican Church. So back at the road, we'll be leading by the Harrison's Cave, that's Mahogany, Lion Castle, Sturges, anywhere so. So all under here is Harrison's Cave. Harrison Cave runs all under here. That is where the service is going on at the church, that the organ from the church vibrates into the cave. So I will now take a walk. I will now take a walk through the churchyard. I'm back here in my beloved church of the Holy Innocents. The people in this vicarage building behind might be saying that they see me here every Saturday. So I have to be careful too with that. The grave of W.T. George Gooding and Mildred Gooding, who is his wife. And their children, Jeffrey and Sheila. Jeffrey and Sheila also buried here, their children. So I'm going to show you this section here in the churchyard. It's reserved for persons who died from the cholera epidemic, cholera outbreak. So that is why they do not bury people out this side. This is the ones that died from cholera. I won't go near the graves because these folk here died from cholera. So this is Holy Innocents Anglican Church, another historic church in Barbados. Doris Ancior and Louise Ancior. Quite an unusual name for a Barbadian. Clarence Yearwood and Winifred Yearwood. Clarence Yearwood. Eustace Charles Graves, who died on the 7th of October in 1938 at the age of 73. Francis Gwendolyn Thorne and John H.C.C. Thorne. Francis Gwendolyn Thorne. This is the Innes family grave here. Vivian Innes, Sarah Ann Richards, Helen King Richards, Rebecca Gill, and Eustace Constance Richards Gill, Ernest Henry Henderson Innes, John Coleridge Innes, James Reginald Bertram Innes, William King Innes, Hannah Lita Innes, all the Innes family grave. I ain't gonna go through all them there. Them in the family to me. They're not my relatives. No, they're not important. I won't go through all them. Okay, back down to it. I can feel the country breeze blowing on me right now. To the affectionate memory of John W. Carrington, who died the 22nd of January 1889 at the age of 53. In memory of Margaret Williams, a wife of John W. Carrington of Richmond Hall, St. Thomas, who died the 3rd of November 1881 at the age of 67 years. 67 years. Walter Philip Smith, who died the 16th of June 1918, aged 82 years, and his wife Elizabeth Hines Trotman, who died the 24th of October 1914, 76 years. In loving memory of Walter Codrington Carrington Smith, born the 15th of June 1873, died the 7th of December 1956, from Olivia and Phoebe Worrell, also his wife Olive Worrell. I won't go through them neither. It's not important. The church again, and the multi-purpose center, the official residence of the priest here, the vicarage. The people probably saying how they see me regularly out here, but that's not a matter to me. I know what I'm doing. I'm not committing a crime by coming every week, every Saturday. The only time I get to come here now. This church bell here. The bell was originally in this building here, up top here in the belfry first. But then they took it down when the church was being rebuilt between 1989 and 1990. They took it down and placed it in here. So this is the new belfry that they built for the bell. My great uncle Gorman Levine used to be a little lay preacher here, so he used to ring the bell at one point. Gorman Levine used to ring the bell here at Holy Innocents at one point in time. So this is the vicarage, the official residence of the priest, but unfortunately this current priest doesn't live here. The last priest that lived there was Reverend Lake, who was the priest here from 1987 to 2011. And now you can see the breadfruit tree, the lovely breadfruits. The vicarage here where the priest lives, the official residence of the priest. So they built this front porch and they moved the bell and put it in here. So the church vicarage, the whole meeting is in here now. So this is all the church cemetery over here. All the church cemetery. As I said before, they do not bury people in this cemetery anymore, except it is a by grave. Because it is filled, the grave of Lindsay Ursa Rayburn Gill, who died in 1973, and his wife Eleanor Marjorie Parish Niski. So they do not bury people in here anymore. Since it is filled. Doreen Curly Nichols, beloved wife of Cuthbert Nichols, and mother and grandmother, may she rest in peace. Florence Teresa Brown and Gladstone Theophilus Brown. The Benskin family grave. Backwards. And the Knight family grave. back up to Wexmore Hall. The road to Wexmore Hall. The road back to the church vicarage. And the road to the Wexmore Hall. Burns Road and Wexmore Hall, known to many as the Lane. The Vicar's Club used to be here. The Vicar's Club for Holy Innocents Church used to be here up until they pushed it down in 2005. They pushed it down. The Vicar's Club used to be the old school building for the boys, Holy Innocents Boys School. Once again, another Saturday evening at the Holy Innocents Anglican Episcopal Church, destroyed by the 1831 hurricane, rebuilt in 1838 and rededicated in 1839. This church was built on lands given by the owners of Ashford Plantation. Thanks for watching now, and have a blessed evening.